The crowded market stretched across the alien city like a living river, colors flashing everywhere, strange smells mixing in the air, and the chatter of dozens of species creating a constant hum. Among the crowd walked a poor human named Ral, his clothes worn and dusty, his shoes scuffed from long journeys, and on his wrist was a small bracelet that glowed faintly under the bright lights. It was a simple bracelet, yet to him it was more than just a piece of metal. It was a memory, a small token of hope he never truly understood until now. Ral moved carefully between the alien merchants, eyes fixed on the strange fruits and gadgets displayed on tall stalls. He tried not to draw attention, knowing that people like him were often ignored or pushed aside. The bracelet's glow pulsed softly as if it had a life of its own, drawing the gaze of a few curious passers-by, but most were too busy with their own business to notice. Somewhere above the crowd, hovering on a sleek platform, a figure watched him silently, his eyes sharp. Scanning the human in the sea of aliens, it was Xyrath, an alien billionaire, known for his power and wealth across several galaxies. And at this moment, the sight of the bracelet stopped him cold. Xyrath had not seen this bracelet in decades. It was a gift he had once given long ago to a human far from this planet. A gift meant to carry hope and protection. The memories of the original recipient rushed back to him, old feelings of pride and curiosity mixing with something he could not name. He had never imagined seeing it again, and yet here it was, glowing on the wrist of a human whose life seemed so ordinary. Curiosity pulled Xyrath forward, though he remained hidden. Letting the crowd hide his movements, he watched Ral carefully, noticing small things that spoke volumes. The way the human helped a small alien child who had dropped a toy, the way he gave a few credits to a stray creature that hissed but ate gratefully, and the careful way he avoided trouble while navigating the busy streets. These were small acts, but they told Xyrath something important. This human had kindness in his heart, something rare even among the wealthiest beings he had met. Ral paused near a stall selling glowing orbs. Brushing a strand of hair from his eyes, he looked down at the bracelet. Not fully aware of its significance, it had been given to him by a stranger years ago, someone who had vanished as mysteriously as they had appeared. Yet the bracelet had always been with him, a small comfort in a life full of uncertainty. As he adjusted it on his wrist, the glow brightened slightly, as if responding to the presence of Xyrath above. The billionaire felt a strange pull, a connection he could not explain. He had to know more, but he also had to be careful. Revealing himself too soon might scare the human, or worse, break the fragile trust he sensed. So he followed silently, moving through the market with the grace of a shadow. Unseen yet aware of every step Ral took, the human's path led through twisting streets and over bridges that spanned wide canals filled with shimmering water. The city was alive with noise and motion, yet in this moment, Xyrath focused only on the glowing bracelet. Ral finally stopped near a fountain shaped like an alien creature with wings and scales. He leaned against the edge, tired from the long walk and from days spent searching for work or food. The bracelet's glow reflected in his eyes, giving him a moment of quiet that he rarely enjoyed. He wondered why it seemed to shine brighter today, what memories or power it held that he could not feel fully. Across the fountain, Xyrath remained hidden, his heart racing in a way he had not felt in centuries. He studied the human, trying to guess what kind of person had carried this bracelet for so long. A sudden noise startled Ral, a cart tipping over nearby. Spilling strange fruits across the ground, he rushed forward to help, picking up the scattered items and returning them to the merchant. The crowd barely noticed, but Xyrath did, noting the human's quick action without any thought for reward or praise. There was something about him, something real, something rare, that made the billionaire's curiosity grow. As Ral finished helping, he turned slightly and felt a shadow nearby, a strange sensation that someone was watching him. He looked around, eyes scanning the crowd, but saw no one unusual. A chill ran down his spine, not from fear but from a sense of being seen. Someone important, someone powerful, was here. He could feel it. Xyrath from above allowed himself a small smile, knowing the human's instincts were sharp, but not sharp enough to discover him yet. The game had begun, a silent dance of curiosity and discovery, and the bracelet was the key that had brought them together. The market continued around them, full of life, sound, and color. But for a brief moment, the world seemed to shrink to just two beings, connected across time and space by a simple glowing bracelet. And as Ral adjusted it once more, unaware of the eyes that followed him, Xyrath made a decision. He would learn the story of this human no matter what it took, and the next step in their journey was about to begin. Raoul walked through the narrow streets of the alien city, the glow of his bracelet faint but steady, his eyes scanning the bustling crowd, merchants shouting, aliens of every shape and color moving in all directions. Yet he felt a strange weight in the air, as if someone was following him. He adjusted his worn jacket, hiding the bracelet partially under the sleeve, hoping to avoid attention, though the faint hum of its light made it impossible to fully conceal. Above, Xyreth moved silently on his hovering platform, blending with the tall structures that lined the streets. He watched the human with careful eyes, noting every movement, every gesture, every small act of kindness. There was something unusual about this human, something beyond the ordinary struggle of survival that made him pause. He had followed many beings across galaxies, but none had carried the subtle strength Raoul did, and the bracelet tied them together in a way he could not ignore. Raoul stopped near a fountain where water shimmered in shades of blue and green. Alien children played nearby, laughing and splashing. Yet one small child tripped and fell. Scraping a knee, Raoul rushed forward instinctively, lifting the child gently and brushing off the dirt. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear but from habit. He had learned to care for others even when his own life was difficult. The child's parent, a four-armed alien with purple skin, nodded in gratitude, but Raoul merely smiled and stepped back, uneasy yet compelled to help. Xyreth observed the scene from a distance, impressed. Most humans he encountered were focused only on themselves, but this one carried a rare kind of empathy, and it reminded him of the person he had given the bracelet to years ago. The connection was more than coincidence, it was fate, yet he could not reveal himself too soon. The human's reaction to kindness, to life itself, needed to be seen fully before the truth emerged. Raoul continued through the streets, passing stalls that sold glowing fruits, small mechanical pets and trinkets of strange alien design. He paused occasionally to help someone stumble or to guide a lost alien child to its parent. The bracelet pulsed faintly with each act, as if it recognized the human's heart. The market was alive with chaos and beauty, but Raoul moved through it like a quiet current. Unnoticed yet significant, as he turned a corner, he noticed a small group of aliens struggling to lift a crate. Their combined efforts were not enough, and the crate tipped dangerously, threatening to spill its contents. Raoul stepped forward without hesitation, gripping the edge and steadying it until the aliens could secure it properly. They thanked him profusely, offering credits and food, but he shook his head politely, refusing any reward. His focus remained on surviving, yet he could not ignore the suffering of others. Above the crowd, Xyreth felt a faint pulse from the bracelet. Stronger than before, it was reacting not just to the human, but to his choices, his empathy, and his courage. The billionaire wondered silently, how much has this human grown without knowing his own potential? And how much of the original gift still flows through him? He decided to let the human continue unaware for a little longer, observing his instincts, his decisions, and his interactions with the city. Raoul paused near an alley to catch his breath, leaning against the wall. The sounds of the market faded slightly as he tried to collect his thoughts. The city was beautiful but overwhelming, and the weight of hunger and exhaustion pressed on him. He looked down at the bracelet, its glow now warmer, almost like a heartbeat. He wondered again who had given it to him and why. Memories were vague, but the feeling of safety and hope lingered. It was strange how a small piece of metal could carry so much meaning. Suddenly, a shadow passed across the alley, and Raoul froze, a chill running down his spine. He could not see anyone, yet he felt a presence, a watchful gaze that followed his every movement. He looked around cautiously, heart racing, but found only the empty alley and the distant bustle of the market. Whoever it was, they were careful, deliberate, and powerful, and Raoul's instincts screamed that this was no ordinary observer. Xyreth hovered quietly above, allowing the human to sense him without being seen. It was important to test him, to see if he could notice danger yet remain calm. The billionaire admired the human's awareness and patience, noting how he balanced fear with careful observation. Each small decision, each measured step spoke of intelligence and adaptability, traits that could be valuable for more than survival alone. As Raoul moved on, his path took him toward the edge of the market, where the streets narrowed and the light dimmed. Alien structures loomed overhead, casting long shadows, and the sounds of the crowd grew distant. He felt the bracelet's glow pulse stronger, a gentle warmth against his wrist. He did not understand it yet, but it reassured him, A reminder that someone somewhere had reached out to him long ago. Xyrath followed silently, preparing for the moment when he would reveal himself. It would not be long now. The human had shown empathy, courage, and awareness, all qualities that the billionaire valued more than wealth or status. A plan formed in his mind, delicate and precise, designed to draw the human's curiosity and trust without frightening him. The next encounter would change everything. But for now, the silent pursuit continued. A dance of observation, patience, and growing connection. Ral walked into a quieter part of the city, where the streets twisted between tall alien buildings, shadows stretching long in the evening light. The market's noise faded behind him, leaving only the occasional hum of hovering vehicles and distant chatter. He adjusted the bracelet on his wrist, its glow warmer now, pulsing softly like it wanted to communicate. He could not understand it, yet a strange sense of being watched followed him like a shadow. Above, Xyrath hovered silently, studying every step, every glance, every small gesture of the human below. He had watched him for hours, noting courage, kindness, and intelligence in each action. The bracelet's glow was more than a signal. It was a bridge between them, a link across time and distance, and Xyrath felt a strange anticipation, something he had not experienced in centuries. Ral paused near an abandoned fountain, its waters dry and cracked. He looked around cautiously, the feeling of being followed pressing heavier against his chest. Suddenly a voice spoke from the shadows, calm and deliberate. "You carry something precious. Human?" Ral jumped back, heart pounding, eyes searching for the source. A tall figure stepped forward, dressed in sleek dark robes that shimmered faintly under the city lights. His presence was commanding yet not threatening. I don't know what you mean," Ral said, trying to keep his voice steady. The bracelet on his wrist pulsed stronger, reacting to the figure as if recognizing him. The stranger stepped closer, hands raised slightly. "Do not be afraid. I mean you no harm. I am Xyrath, and I once gave that bracelet to someone long ago. It seems it has found its way to you." Ral's eyes widened in shock, disbelief mixing with confusion. You know this?" he asked, pointing to the bracelet. Xyrath nodded, studying the human closely. "Yes, I know it, and I also know that it has led me to you. You have carried it with care and courage, even without knowing its true purpose." "That is rare, very rare." Ral stared at him. Trying to process the words, he felt a mix of fear and curiosity, a pull that he could not explain. "Why me?" he whispered almost to himself. The billionaire's gaze softened slightly. "Because you have something many lack, a heart that can see beyond survival, a mind that can think beyond immediate need, and a spirit that acts with kindness. That bracelet chose you for a reason, and I am here to learn why you deserve it." Ral looked down at the glowing bracelet, feeling its warmth like a heartbeat. Each pulse seemed to echo Xyrath's words as if confirming their truth. Ral took a cautious step forward. "But I am just a poor human. I struggle every day to eat, to survive. I am not special." Xyrath shook his head, smiling faintly. "Special does not mean wealth or power, human. Special is what you show through your choices, through your actions. You have proven yourself simply by walking through this city with honesty and courage. That is more than many can do." A faint glow escaped the bracelet, brighter than before, illuminating the shadows around them. Ral felt a shiver run down his spine. It was as if the bracelet approved of Xyrath, that it had waited all these years for this moment. The billionaire reached out one hand, not touching but hovering near the bracelet. It remembers its first owner. It also senses the heart of the one who wears it now. "You and I are connected because of it, whether you understand yet or not." Ral's mind raced, questions spilling out. "Connected? How? Why did it come to me? And why are you following me?" Xyrath's expression turned serious. "I cannot explain everything at once. That would be too much to bear. You must see for yourself. You must show me who you truly are. And then the answers will come. The bracelet brought you here. And now the choice is yours. Will you take the next step?" Ral hesitated, looking around the quiet street, the fading light painting long shadows. His life had been nothing but struggle, and yet here was an alien billionaire, offering opportunity, knowledge, maybe even a future he could not dream of. Fear fought with curiosity inside him, but the bracelet's glow warmed his hand as if urging him forward. It whispered in a language he did not fully understand, yet the meaning was clear: trust. Finally, Ral nodded slowly. I will try. I will see where this goes." Xyrath's face relaxed. a faint smile breaking through. Good. That is all I ask. Follow me and do not be afraid. The path will be challenging, but I believe you are ready. The human took a deep breath, stepping closer to the figure, feeling the weight of destiny pressing on him. As they walked together down the narrow streets, the bracelet pulsed between them, a silent guide, and a bridge connecting their fates. The city around them seemed smaller, the distant hum of life less important than the bond forming in the shadows. Each step brought them closer, not just in distance but in understanding. And for the first time in his life, Raoul felt that something greater than survival was waiting for him. Above, Xyrath hovered for a moment, watching the bracelet, feeling the warmth of connection. He knew the human would face trials, dangers, and choices, but he also knew that Raoul's courage and heart had prepared him for this moment. The first encounter was over, but the journey had only just begun, and the silent city held its breath, waiting to see what would come next. Raoul followed Xyrath through the twisting streets, his heart still racing from the confrontation, every step carrying a mix of fear and curiosity. The city's lights reflected on the polished alien walls, creating patterns that danced like fireflies. Yet all Raoul could focus on was the bracelet, warm and pulsing on his wrist as if urging him forward. Xyrath led him into a quiet courtyard, surrounded by tall alien towers with softly glowing windows. The air smelled faintly of sweet spices and ozone, a calm unlike the chaos of the market. The billionaire stopped and turned to face Raoul, his eyes intense yet gentle. Now, he said, it is time you understand why you carry that bracelet, and why it has led me to you. Raoul swallowed hard, trying to steady his breath. I have worn it for years, but I never knew its purpose. I only knew it made me feel safe somehow. The bracelet glowed brighter, almost as if agreeing with him. Xyrath nodded, stepping closer. It was given as a gift long ago to a human who showed courage and kindness even in a harsh world. That human's life ended too soon, but the bracelet carries the essence of hope, empathy, and resilience, and it seeks another to continue that legacy. Raoul stared at him, disbelief written on his face. Another? Me? Why would it choose me? Xyrath's expression softened. Because you are worthy, not by wealth or strength, but by the choices you make, the small acts of kindness you show, your courage in the face of struggle, your heart. These are what the bracelet recognizes. It has guided me to see that its purpose continues through you. Raoul's mind raced, memories of his life flashing in front of him, the days he had gone hungry, the times he had shared what little he had, the moments he had helped others with no thought of reward. Could all that really mean something? He looked down at the bracelet, now glowing warmly, and felt a strange connection, a sense that he had been chosen for something greater than himself. Xyrath gestured to the surrounding towers. This city is full of danger and opportunity. Yet I did not follow you for curiosity alone. I followed you because the bracelet led me here. And it is time you learn what you are capable of. You are not just a poor human surviving in a large city. You have potential that can change lives, including your own. Raoul felt a shiver of awe, the enormity of the words pressing on him. The billionaire reached out his hand, not touching the bracelet, but hovering close enough that its glow brightened. This bracelet contains more than memories. It carries a link between those who wear it and those who created it. It reacts to courage, empathy, and determination, and it has confirmed that you have all three. I am here to guide you, but you must choose to take the next step yourself. Raoul took a deep breath, the weight of the moment settling on his shoulders. I don't know if I can, he whispered. Voice trembling, Xyrath shook his head gently. You already have, human. You have faced life's challenges without complaint. You have acted with kindness when it was easiest to ignore. You have survived when many would have failed. That is why you were chosen. Not because of anything you have done today, but because of who you are. Raoul looked down at the bracelet, feeling the warmth spread through his hand and up his arm. It was more than metal and light. It was a symbol of trust, of destiny, and of connection across time and space. He thought of the person who had received it first, and how their life had ended, leaving hope behind. It was now his turn to carry that hope forward. Xyrath stepped closer, lowering his voice. There is more, human. The bracelet also carries knowledge, some of which will only reveal itself when you are ready. It will guide you, protect you, and show you paths that you could not see before. But you must prove yourself worthy of that trust, and in doing so, you will discover your own strength. Raoul's eyes widened, a mix of fear and excitement. What? What do I have to do? He asked, unsure if he was ready. Zirath's gaze turned firm. You will face challenges, some of which will test your courage, your kindness, and your intelligence. But remember this, the bracelet brought you to me because you already possess these qualities. I only help you recognize them. Your actions will determine the path forward, not mine. Ral swallowed hard, feeling both fear and determination. He looked down at the bracelet one last time before meeting Zirath's eyes. I will try, he said, voice steadying. I will do whatever it takes. Zirath nodded approvingly, a faint smile forming. Good. That is all I ask. Trust in yourself, trust in the bracelet, and trust that the path will reveal itself. The courtyard seemed to glow with the bracelet's light, shadows shifting and dancing as if alive. Ral felt a deep connection to something larger than himself, to a legacy he had never known, yet one he was now ready to carry. Zirath extended his hand once more, signaling the beginning of a journey that would test the human's courage, compassion, and wisdom. The revelation had been made, but the real adventure was only just beginning. Ral followed Zirath through the winding streets of the alien city, each step carrying a mix of fear and anticipation. The bracelet on his wrist glowed softly, pulsing like a heartbeat, reminding him of the path he had chosen. The billionaire's presence beside him was both comforting and intimidating, a silent promise that guidance and challenge would come in equal measure. Zirath stopped near a tall archway carved from alien stone, glowing faintly with strange symbols. Your first test begins here, he said, voice calm but firm. You will face situations that require courage, intelligence, and kindness. How you act will reveal your true character, and the bracelet will respond to your choices. Ral swallowed hard, looking at the archway, unsure what awaited him. A soft hum filled the air, and the alley beyond the archway transformed, becoming a maze of twisting corridors and floating platforms. Glowing crystals lighting the path, Ral stepped forward cautiously, feeling the bracelet pulse stronger with each step. He knew he could not turn back. This was his moment to prove himself. The first challenge appeared quickly, a small group of alien creatures trapped on a high platform, their cries echoing through the corridors. They were frightened, unable to climb down safely. Ral glanced at the floating platforms and realized he could reach them. Yet it would be dangerous. He took a deep breath. Stepping onto the nearest platform, the glow from the bracelet guiding his balance. With careful movements, he reached the trapped creatures, holding them securely as he guided them to safety. The crystals along the walls brightened as he succeeded, and the bracelet pulsed warmly, a silent acknowledgement of his courage and compassion. The creatures chirped and cooed, pressing against him gratefully, and Ral felt a strange joy, the first real happiness he had felt in years. Zirath watched from a distance, nodding slightly. Good. That is the beginning, he said quietly. Courage without kindness is empty, and kindness without courage is meaningless. You have shown both. Ral smiled faintly, still catching his breath. Yet he knew the challenges were far from over. The next test appeared almost immediately, a series of puzzles projected in mid-air, glowing symbols floating and shifting like liquid light. Ral stepped closer, examining the patterns, realizing that each one required not only intelligence but observation and patience. He touched one symbol and the pattern shifted, opening a new path. He hesitated, thinking carefully before moving forward, and the bracelet pulsed softly, almost encouraging him. Hours seemed to pass as he solved the puzzles, each one more complex than the last, yet Ral remained calm. Relying on logic and intuition occasionally, he noticed the faint presence of Zirath watching, a silent guide but never interfering. The human learned quickly that the bracelet reacted not just to success, but to effort, patience, and thoughtfulness, rewarding choices made with care and intention. As he reached the final puzzle, a small alien child appeared, lost and frightened. Blocking the final path, Ral paused, realizing that his success depended not only on solving the puzzle but helping the child. He knelt down, speaking softly, calming the alien with gentle words and a steady hand. The bracelet glowed brighter than ever, almost like a heartbeat in his palm, recognizing his empathy and courage combined. With the child safely guided to the exit, the last puzzle shifted, revealing a golden doorway that led to a quiet chamber bathed in soft light. Ral stepped through, exhausted but triumphant. The bracelet's glow now steady. Warm and reassuring, Zirath entered the chamber, his eyes reflecting both pride and curiosity. You have passed the first set of tests, he said. voice calm. But the true test is not over yet. Challenges will continue, and the choices you make will define your path. Ral looked at him, panting, sweat on his brow. Yet he felt a strange sense of strength, a confidence that he had never known. The bracelet seemed to hum with approval, and for the first time he felt the weight of destiny, not as a burden but as a call to action. He realized that his life had changed, not because of wealth or power, but because he had chosen courage, kindness, and intelligence above fear and doubt. Xyrath placed a hand near the bracelet, not touching but close enough to feel its warmth. This is only the beginning, human. You have shown potential, but the galaxy is vast, full of dangers and choices. Your actions will ripple far beyond this city, and the bracelet will guide you through what lies ahead. Trust it, trust yourself, and remember that every decision matters. Ral nodded, the excitement and fear mixing into a strange energy that propelled him forward. He looked at the bracelet one last time before stepping toward the chamber exit, knowing that more tests awaited. Yet feeling ready, the first step had been taken, and the silent bond between human and billionaire, between courage and destiny, had grown stronger outside the chamber. The city continued in its chaotic rhythm, but Ral walked with purpose, the bracelet pulsing like a heartbeat in his wrist, guiding him forward. The adventure was only beginning, and the galaxy awaited, full of challenges, mysteries, and opportunities. Ral moved through the city with renewed confidence, the bracelet glowing warmly on his wrist, each pulse reminding him of the choices he had made and the courage he had shown. Yet the quiet streets ahead carried an unease, a subtle tension that prickled his senses. He had learned to trust his instincts, and they told him danger was near. Above, Xyrath hovered silently, watching the human navigate the twisting alleys. He had sensed the rival faction long before they appeared, and now their plan was unfolding. The billionaire's expression was calm but serious, knowing the test was far from over. This challenge would show not only Ral's courage and intelligence, but his loyalty and quick thinking under pressure. Suddenly, a group of armored alien mercenaries emerged from the shadows, blocking Ral's path. Their weapons glinted under the dim lights, and their intentions were clear. They had noticed the bracelet, and they wanted it. Along with the human who wore it, Ral froze for a moment, heart pounding. Realizing he was trapped, yet the bracelet pulsed softly, as if urging him to act. Ral's mind raced. He could not outrun them, and fighting blindly would be foolish. He scanned the area quickly, noting broken crates, narrow passages, and overhanging platforms. The bracelet's glow brightened, almost guiding his thoughts. He grabbed a loose crate and rolled it into the path of the mercenaries, creating a momentary distraction. With quick thinking, Ral darted to a narrow alley, his small size and agility allowing him to move faster than the heavily armored mercenaries. Yet one of them noticed and raised a weapon. Taking aim, Ral's pulse quickened, the bracelet glowing intensely. He remembered Xyrath's advice. Courage and intelligence could overcome fear, and he leapt toward a low wall, using momentum to tumble over it, narrowly avoiding the blast of energy. Xyrath intervened just then, a pulse of alien energy knocking two mercenaries off balance. Yet he remained careful, allowing Ral to take action. He wanted the human to prove his worth, not rely solely on alien power. Ral took advantage of the opening, guiding a small group of frightened citizens and alien children out of the path of danger. His courage shone through in protecting the vulnerable, even while facing his own peril. The mercenaries regrouped, blocking the only exit, and Ral knew he had to think fast. He noticed a thin ledge above, partially hidden by shadows, and realized it could provide a safe route. With quick calculations, he climbed onto the ledge, balancing carefully, the bracelet pulsing like a heartbeat in his wrist. Below, the mercenaries fired, but the narrow passage prevented accurate hits, allowing him to move safely. Xyrath followed from above, his presence subtle but reassuring. He could feel the bracelet responding to both human and billionaire. The glow was stronger than ever, as if acknowledging the courage and strategy displayed by Ral. The mercenaries, frustrated by their failure, split into smaller groups, giving Ral the opening to reach a wide, open square. There, a young alien girl cried. Trapped by a fallen market cart, Ral did not hesitate. Dropping from the ledge and lifting the cart with effort, freeing her safely, the bracelet glowed warmly, as if approving his selfless act. The girl's eyes widened in gratitude, and she clung to him, helping him feel the weight of responsibility and connection. As they moved toward safety, a final ambush awaited. A larger group of mercenaries, More organized and ruthless, Ral froze for a heartbeat. Yet the bracelet pulsed in a steady rhythm, calming him. He realized that panic would lead to failure, and careful action could save everyone. With a deep breath, he devised a plan, signaling the children and civilians to scatter in different directions, creating confusion among the attackers, using the environment to his advantage. Ral led the mercenaries into narrow alleys and over precarious platforms, each step guided by instinct and the subtle glow of the bracelet. He ducked, climbed, and maneuvered, keeping everyone safe while evading capture. The thrill of danger heightened his senses, sharpening his mind, courage, and empathy all at once. Finally, they reached a safe courtyard where Xerath appeared fully, his presence unmistakable now. The billionaire's alien energy dispersed the remaining mercenaries. Yet he did not touch the human, allowing Ral to see what he could accomplish alone. Ral panted, exhausted yet exhilarated, knowing he had faced real danger and acted wisely. Xerath stepped forward, his eyes reflecting pride and satisfaction. "You have proven yourself today, human. Not only courage and intelligence, but your heart, your empathy, and your quick thinking under pressure. This is what sets you apart and why the bracelet chose you. The galaxy is full of trials, but you have shown that you can overcome them." Ral looked down at the bracelet. Now glowing steadily, a warmth spreading through him, he felt a deep connection to Xerath, to the bracelet, and to the path laid out before him. This experience had shown him more about his own strength than he had ever known, and he realized that challenges would continue. Yet he felt ready. As the city resumed its chaotic rhythm around them, Ral stood with the alien billionaire, the bracelet a glowing link between them. The rescue was over, but the adventure was far from finished. Each pulse of light from the bracelet reminded Ral that courage, kindness, and intelligence were not just traits, but keys to survival and destiny. Ral stood in the quiet courtyard, the city lights casting long reflections on the alien stone. The bracelet glowed steadily on his wrist, a steady warmth that reminded him of all he had endured and accomplished. Xerath stepped beside him, his towering presence calm yet commanding. The billionaire's eyes held both pride and curiosity, a reflection of the journey they had shared. "You have done well, human," Xerath said, voice calm but filled with weight. "Not everyone could have faced what you faced, nor acted with the courage, kindness, and intelligence that you have shown. The bracelet has guided you, but it is your choices that define you. You have proven that you are worthy." Ral looked down at the glowing bracelet, feeling its warmth as if it were a heartbeat. It had been with him through every challenge, every test, every danger, and now it felt like a companion, a guide, and a symbol of connection across time and space. He thought of the people he had helped, the creatures he had saved, and the quick thinking that had kept him and others alive. His chest swelled with pride and wonder. "Worthy of what?" Ral asked, still unsure of what the billionaire truly meant. Xerath smiled faintly. "Worthy of opportunity, human. Worthy of a place where your talents and heart can grow beyond survival. You are not just a witness to the galaxy. You can now shape it, protect it, and inspire others. The bracelet brought us together because it sensed this potential in you. And now it is time to take the next step." Ral's eyes widened, realization dawning. His life had changed from simple survival to something larger, something meaningful. The city around them felt smaller, the distant hum of life less important than the destiny laid before him. He felt both excitement and fear, but the warmth of the bracelet reminded him that he was not alone. Xerath gestured toward a grand building at the edge of the courtyard, its walls shimmering with alien energy. "This will be your new home. In a way, not just a place, but a center of learning, decision-making, and action. You will be trained, guided, and trusted, and your choices will matter beyond this city, beyond this planet. Perhaps even beyond this galaxy." Ral stepped forward cautiously, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. I don't know if I am ready," he whispered, the bracelet pulsing gently. "You are ready," Xerath said firmly. "The tests were not only for courage and kindness, but for readiness. You have shown that you can face fear, act with empathy, and think with clarity. All that is left is to take action and embrace your role." As they entered the building, Ral marveled at the alien technology, the intricate designs that pulsed with energy, and the quiet hum of life beyond what he had ever seen. The bracelet glowed brighter, as if sensing the importance of the moment. Guiding him with a gentle rhythm, He felt a strange sense of belonging, a feeling he had never known in his life of struggle. Zirath led him to a large chamber filled with holographic maps, floating data screens and creatures of many kinds. Here you will learn, plan, and decide. You will meet others who serve the galaxy, who protect it, and who strive for good. And you will be a leader among them, not because of power, but because of heart. Ral's eyes widened, a mix of awe and determination spreading through him. He looked down at the bracelet once more, its glow steady and warm, and realized that it was not just a gift or a tool, but a symbol of trust, destiny, and connection. It had chosen him, tested him, and now guided him into a life of purpose. He felt a deep sense of gratitude, not just for Zirath, but for every moment that had led him here, every act of courage and kindness that defined him. Zirath placed a hand near his shoulder, a gesture of mentorship and respect. The galaxy is vast, human, full of challenges and opportunities, but I believe you are ready, and the bracelet agrees. Together we will face what comes, and you will shape what lies ahead. This is your new beginning, and I trust you will honor it. Ral nodded, feeling a surge of courage and hope. The weight of his past struggles no longer held him back. Instead, they had forged him into someone capable of more than he had ever imagined. The bracelet pulsed gently, a silent promise of guidance, trust, and connection, and for the first time, Ral felt that he was not just surviving, but living. As they looked out over the city, the stars beginning to shine in the alien sky, Ral felt the future stretch endlessly before him, full of mystery, adventure, and purpose. He knew challenges awaited, yet he also knew that courage, kindness, and intelligence would guide him through. The bracelet glowed steadily, a beacon of hope and destiny, and Ral took a deep breath, ready to embrace this new beginning.